You're standing in the kitchen with your phone in your hand. You were going to order something simple. 20 minutes later, you're still scrolling. Now you're not hungry, you're just tense. Then it spreads. You keep a tab open for a laptop you might buy, a tab for a gym you might join, a tab for an email you might send. It starts to feel like a browser with 27 tabs, and one of them's blasting music you can't find. The strange part is how reasonable it feels. It feels like you're being careful. It feels like you're preventing a mistake. But most of the time, you're not choosing, you're trying to get perfect certainty. So here's what happens. A choice shows up with even a little risk in it. Your mind treats that risk like a future regret you have to avoid. So the goal quietly shifts from pick something to don't feel stupid later. That shift creates the freeze. Because regret can't be fully prevented. So you keep searching for the missing piece that would make the decision painless. And the search becomes the activity that replaces the choice. There's a simple way to interrupt this without making decisions feel heavy. It's 3 steps, and it's meant for real life, not ideal conditions. Name the loop. Cut the thread. Reset on repeat. Not once repeated, the same way you wash dishes instead of trying to never make a dish again. Step 1 is name the loop. Not the topic, the loop. When you notice you're comparing again, you label the decision as small, medium, or big. And you decide how much time it deserves before the time disappears. A small decision is something you can reverse easily. Dinner. Which email subject line, which errands first? A medium decision costs time or money but can be adjusted. A big decision changes a major part of your life and deserves a slower pace. Step 2 is cut the thread. Because the loop feeds on open menus. You cut the menu down to 2 options. Then you pick 3 must-haves and you choose as soon as one option meets them. Step 3 is reset on repeat. You lock the decision in writing. You take one small next action right away. And you ban redeciding until a set review time. Most people skip the labeling and jump straight to arguing with themselves. That's why it feels endless. The mind can debate for hours when nothing has a time limit. So the time limit isn't pressure, it's containment. Maya is the kind of person who looks responsible from the outside. She keeps notes. She reads reviews. She asks thoughtful questions. And she still loses entire evenings to small choices. Last week she needed to pick a new phone plan. Not a life decision, just a plan. But it turned into 7 open tabs, then a spreadsheet, then texting 2 friends. By the end, she felt behind and oddly ashamed, like she'd failed a basic task. Here's the first thing that keeps the freeze going. The decision starts feeling like a permanent verdict, like whatever you pick becomes a label for who you are. So even a normal choice starts carrying the weight of a bigger one. You can hear it in the language people use in their head. This plan says something about whether I'm smart. This message will define the relationship. This job choice will decide the rest of my life. When it sounds like that, any movement feels dangerous. The second thing is the safety illusion of more research. Extra information feels like extra protection, but a lot of the time, the extra information can't change the outcome. It only changes how busy you feel while avoiding the moment of choosing. You notice it when the next article is basically the same as the last one, or when you're reading reviews that contradict each other, or when the options all meet your basic needs. At that point, more input isn't clarity, it's delay that feels productive. The third thing is comparing things that can't be measured the same way. One option is cheaper. One feels nicer. One has a better reputation. Those aren't the same kind of numbers. So nothing ever wins, and the mind keeps trying to force a clean ranking. It's like scrolling a streaming menu when you're tired. You want the perfect choice for your mood. But your mood is changing as you scroll. So the target keeps moving. The fourth thing is hidden decisions multiplying behind the scenes. It starts as one choice. Then it quietly becomes 10 smaller choices you didn't name. Which features matter? What budget is reasonable? What other people will think? What if you change your mind? That multiplication is a big reason you feel exhausted. You're not tired from choosing one thing. You're tired from running a whole committee meeting in your head. And the meeting has no end time. Now, the mistakes that make this worse are usually the ones that sound responsible. The first is keeping every option open just in case. That keeps the stress open too, because your mind treats open options like tasks you still owe attention to. The second is asking too many people. Not because input is bad, because you end up trying to satisfy every opinion. Then you're not choosing for the situation, you're choosing to avoid disapproval. The third is relitigating the same choice every day. You decide at night, then you wake up and put it back on trial. That trains your mind not to trust any decision you make, because nothing ever counts as final, even temporarily. So let's return to the 3 steps in a way you can use today. Name the loop. Cut the thread. Reset on repeat. And it starts with a small moment you can recognize. You're halfway through comparing. You feel that tight pause before you click. You feel a little urgency in your chest. Like if you choose wrong, you'll regret it and it'll be your fault. That is the moment for the first micro tool, the tier label. You say out loud if you can, small, medium, or big. Then you give it a time budget that matches the tier. Small gets a short window. Medium gets a longer window. Big gets scheduled time. Maya tried this on her phone plan decision. She said, "This is medium." Not because it's trivial, but because it's adjustable. Then she gave it 1 hour on Thursday, instead of letting it leak into every evening. Once you label the tier, you can cut the thread. This is where most people resist, because it feels like losing freedom. But it's actually reducing noise so a choice can appear. The second micro tool is the 2-option gate. You reduce the menu to 2 options. Not 5, not 8. 2. Then you pick 3 must-haves that matter to you, not to the internet. The must-haves aren't a wish list. They're basic requirements. If an option meets them, it becomes eligible. And once an option is eligible, the decision is allowed to end. Maya's must-haves were simple. Coverage where she lives, a monthly cost she can live with, and no surprise fees. 2 plans met those. So the decision stopped being find the best plan on earth and became pick a workable plan. Now comes the part people wait too long for. They wait to feel confident. But confidence usually comes after action, not before it. If you keep waiting for confidence, you're waiting for a feeling that doesn't arrive on schedule. So you reset on repeat. You lock and move. You write the choice down in 1 sentence. Then you take 1 small next action before you give your mind a chance to reopen the debate. The third micro tool is the written lock. 1 sentence, plain language. I'm choosing plan B today. I will review it in 30 days. Then you do the first action, like clicking purchase or setting the appointment. The written part matters because memory is slippery when you're anxious. Tomorrow, your mind will claim you never really decided. Or it'll claim the decision was temporary in a way that invites endless reconsidering. The sentence shuts that door until the review time. And the review time is important because it's honest. It admits that some decisions are adjustable. It gives your mind a place to put its questions that isn't right now. There are a few quick loops you can expect once you start doing this. One is noticing you're still comparing after you already have 2 options. That's the shopping loop. That's when the mind is browsing to feel safe, not choosing to move forward. When that happens, you can say, "I'm shopping, not choosing." Then you set a short timer and decide when it ends. When the timer ends, you choose based on the must-haves you already named, not based on a new wave of doubt. Another loop is the regret spike. It's that sharp thought, what if I regret it? That thought isn't a prophecy. It's a discomfort signal. If the decision is truly reversible, the response is a small reversible test. Not more research. A small test you can do today that turns imagined regret into real data, fast. Another loop is opinion collecting. You feel the urge to ask one more person. That urge is usually about discomfort, not information. So you ask one targeted question to one person, then you stop. The question has to be narrow. Not what should I do? Something like, have you had billing problems with this plan? Then you decide within a day, because otherwise the asking becomes its own endless project. And once you've locked a decision, you'll notice the morning after temptation. You wake up and want to rethink it. That's normal. It's the mind trying to return to the old habit where nothing is final. That's where you read your written lock. Then you take the next step before more thinking. The next step is what makes the decision real. Maya had that temptation the next day. She started reading new reviews. Then she saw her sentence, Plan B today. Review in 30 days. So she stopped and she set up the account. It didn't feel dramatic. It felt a little uncomfortable and very ordinary. Then it was done. And the mental space that came back was the real benefit. This entire pattern gets easier when you stop treating decisions as identity tests. Most daily decisions are adjustable bets. They're not verdicts. They're not proof of intelligence or worth. Name the loop keeps the decision the right size. Cut the thread makes the menu small enough to end. Reset on repeat prevents the mind from reopening the case every morning. If there's one thing to do today, it's this. Take one decision you've been carrying and label it small, medium, or big. Then give it a time budget and write the review time before you start. Indecision often looks like overthinking, but it's usually unclosed options. The moment you close one on purpose, your energy stops leaking. And the next decision gets easier because it has a process instead of a fight. Some days you'll still freeze. That just means the loop is running again. Name the loop. Cut the thread. Reset on repeat. The menu will still be long. The difference is you won't live inside it. You'll choose lock and move, and the day will continue.